What stuff up in there? So we're gonna start this, ladies and gentlemen. What day is it? The 30th of June, right? Tuesday. I'm gonna start this all over, and this is the first part where, you know how they say if it fits, you know, but if it doesn't, let it fly. Watch this.
The entire
listen.
There is a false marriage in the energy. I had picked up on this before, but it hasn't come through strong enough for me to even
hear it again.
There is a false marriage in the energy. I had picked up on this before, but it hasn't come through strong enough for me to even.
So we're gonna stop there. She said there's a false marriage involved, right? And I've placed this video out a couple times. Why? Because I kept actual footage and paperwork of what I'm telling you. So whoever's along the simple fact, because in less than 1 year, right, there's 3 women who claim that we were still married. No, the fuck, I'm not married to nobody. But here it is. Somehow I'm married on paper. It would have to do with SHYLA CULVER, Elizabeth Francis, and June Paul. Not only that, because they couldn't do it by themselves, right? So we brought this up to, as you can see right here, you can see a case number. And you see that nice signature right there? Somebody inside the court process this paperwork so that they can put me in a fraudulent marriage so that they can get some form of benefit. That one is under June Paul, right? Check this out. Where you at? Digital court is just it. Right here is the actual divorce paperwork from Elizabeth Francis. I am not married to SHYLA CULVER, Elizabeth Francis, or June Paul. But somewhere on paper, somebody took my ID and put me in a fraudulent marriage. Not only that, if you look closely here at the bottom under the seal, you'll see a signature with a stamp from a courthouse. And you can see the date and everything. So how, again, who signed these documents? Because again, whether it be SHYLA CULVER, Elizabeth Francis, or June Paul, who all tried to claim that we're still married in some way, shape, or form, knowing that we're not, how in the world, who pushed this paperwork through? And this is in the courthouse. All of these are original documentations. Now, here's one thing that I tried to catch people on, because it took me a moment to realize this. When it comes to, let's say, where's it at? Let's pull back on the one where that says June Paul. Now, June Paul, understand this. Now, check this out. June's middle name is Elizabeth. So she put me in a false marriage, right? Just hear this out. She could easily drop the June. Why? Because you get to redo your name when you get married. All she would have to do was not put June, and she would switch and take her middle name, which is Elizabeth, as her first name, and switch her last name to Francis. And up there, somebody signed this paperwork. Here's the divorce papers away from Elizabeth Francis. And all of these are original documentations. But here it is. I got a paper with somebody signed, and you can see the date at the bottom. That says 23, so 2023, somehow I'm remarried to Elizabeth Francis. How? So now that y'all going to catch, because I want y'all to catch this while we're watching this. Why? Because one or all 3 of them know about what's going on, and one or all 3 of these people are going to go to jail for fraud, and anybody who helped them do this. So now let's put this back on, okay? Check this out, because I only caught the opening. You've been put in a fraudulent marriage. Wait. And I waited. And then I listened to her talk. And then I was like, okay, I think you're talking about me. Now we push play. Listen.
Okay, today it came through and I knew exactly what was going on. There is a false marriage, okay?
We already showed you, right?
It's supposed to cover up the corruption behind some sort of inheritance or money, okay? There is a lot of money on the table right now.
And most of y'all know what that is.
The money is supposed to look a certain way. Okay, so this marriage was covering up the fact that they took this money from you. If this is
ta-da,
okay,
look on the split.
If it's not for you. So as time went on, they decided that there isn't going to be any way for them to mend the energy. All right, and because they couldn't mend the energy, they decided to switch direction. The direction was then, okay, we're going to have this false marriage come in, so it looks like this person who we took all of this pentacle energy from, these finances from, is agreeing to this, okay?
So now that we do this, because I understand that just here recently they say if a crime is committed and then it's captured and posted, that the people who were involved in the crime, they will get more time because somebody captured it and posted it. Understand this. This is considered, because we got intellectuals in the house, what I'm doing is called what? A virtual presence in this case. It is June the 30th. It is 3/13. And I'm telling you, I didn't sign anything for me to be in no fraudulent marriage. I don't know whose signatures are on these freaking papers from a courthouse. And I tell you what, that money that was stolen was distributed to other people close enough to me to be able to keep eyes and keep tabs on me. Check it out, 6 minutes passing, 3:13 still on the clock. Listen.
This money has been divided up in a way where you never even saw this, okay? You never saw this, the 10 of Cups, okay, your family. It was a part of your family. Okay, so like this is a false marriage. The marriage is supposed to cover this up. The 10 of Wands coming out in reverse. Yes, it was used to get out of a rock and a hard place is what I'm hearing. It's 5:11 on the clock as I look up. All right, so the marriage is supposed to cover up the fact that this was stolen from you. You're married. If this message is for you, you're married on paper somewhere to someone. The 10 of Pentacles coming out in the reverse. It's not going to work. Okay, you never saw
reverse.
Pentacles. You never saw these finances. This money.
Other people got to see the finances.
This money was used to buy houses, cars, start businesses that you were never aware of. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles coming out in the reverse. Okay, the money not only was stolen from you, and you never saw it. Okay, but you were supposed to. Your like new beginning was supposed to be taken away from you. Okay, so now I'm hearing that like during the course of this going on, you were supposed to be taken out. You were supposed to be taken out so that they never had to.
FYI, I was poisoned multiple times. Not only that, shoot, I almost lost my life because a woman decided that because I wouldn't sleep with her, she would call the cops. And there was cops right outside this door, as you can see here in this video, had guns pointed, had somebody at the window ready to chuck a grenade through this freaking window to get rid of me off of a woman because I would not sleep with her. Y'all heard the recording, right? So now you understand that they say, if it doesn't fit, let it fly. I'm telling you, it fits. Let's continue because she's on point. Because I can't be making this up if I can show you evidence that goes along with what she's saying. Correct? Right? Y'all got this? All right, check this out. Push play.
For this money, in case it came to a head, the Page of Wands coming out and the Four of Wands. Okay? A marriage. A fucking marriage. Okay, so now there's something going on. Someone's looking at this marriage. This marriage is being seen by someone who's high vibrational. They're like investigating this, the Hierophant.
The FBI.
Someone of authority. Okay, someone who has the last say. This is 3D authority and this is spiritual authority. Okay, so some sort of divine order, the law. Okay, someone who is the Tower. Someone is completely tearing down the structure that they put in place to make it look like this is fine, this is stable, this person is agreeing to this, okay, they're fine.
No.
But someone is understanding that this has to come down. This is a false tower. I'm almost seeing like those tents that you put over a house before you do like bug bombing. I can't remember what bugs you do the tent for, but I'm seeing that. Right, so that's very significant. The Sun coming out in the reverse. They're not going to be successful. They can't get this done. Okay, because someone's seeing it. Someone's seeing that.
Now here's something that catches some people, right? So like I said, here's the divorce paperwork. As you can see at the bottom, original copy, right? If you look here at the bottom on number 26, you will see the date that me and Elizabeth Francis did get married. And it says 2019 on there. If you can catch it. You see it? Got it? Good. Right? So we were married in 2019. Can anybody explain why this piece of paperwork right here with the court stamp and a court signature says 23 on here? Anybody? And there's signatures all over that. Right there. Again, original copy of the marriage in 2019, because I kept everything. How could I have another marriage to the same person I already divorced in 23? And I guarantee you, I can go in my devices and I can tell you this. I can tell you where I was on this date in 2023. In 2023, it says the 5th month on the 3rd day. I guarantee you between the 5 devices I got, because that's how confident I am about I'm not married to nobody. Who signed this paperwork? Who put a stamp on this? Who put me in a fraudulent marriage so that they could rob me? I could tell you 7 days before this date, and I could tell you 7 days after this date that I was nowhere near a courthouse to sit here and have this documentation with a stamp and a signature on it. So again, between one of these 3 women put me in a fraudulent marriage so that they could rob me and also take me out. It's right here. Push play. Listen.
This was orchestrated. The King of Cups coming out in the reverse. This could have been a paternal figure to you. Someone who was supposed to... Okay, so I'm hearing this could be an ex, or this could be like someone's father. This could be someone's father-in-law, a stepdad. All right, this is a masculine's energy. This masculine is very much a part of orchestrating whatever this is. This person is a suspect. This person was supposed to either be like a compassionate, nurturing figure to you in terms of like a family member, a parent, okay, something along those lines, or this was like an ex of yours who is jaded, okay, and the ex is the one who is facilitating the entire plan, okay. I'm getting the 5 of Cups coming out in the reverse. You're not in a place where like low vibrational spell work can even hit you. Okay, now I'm hearing like they needed you sad. They needed you like mourning. Okay, they needed you depressed, and you're not. There's something so huge about the shift that you've made in your life. So like, even if they did try to end you, I don't believe that they were going to be brave enough to try and end you like in the physical. Okay, they could, but right now I'm seeing
that's why they put shit in the food and the drink.
5 of Swords coming out in reverse, and it can't hit you. Lots of 5s, lots of endings and change in this energy. Okay, so you're no longer in a place where this spell work can even come close to you. Okay, you're being so protected right now. Your ancestors, your spirit team, okay, your angels are on guard.
6926.
Because you're too high, you're high ranking, okay, the moon.
6926.
Your intuition has led you into a place of waking up, okay? So I do believe that you've been initiated into your spiritual journey, into awakening, okay? They really never thought that you would get to this place. They never thought that, first of all, they didn't want this much time to pass, right? Because they already
assumed I'd be dead
to meet a deadline. Okay, and because they failed to meet the deadline, they then put in the plan of this false.
So here again, ladies and gentlemen, in case this is the first time you did it, but most people know, so I'll show people, right? As I turn this camera, right here, where I'm pointing at, right here, is where I died in this freaking room, right here. I died right here on this floor. And that was after me crying out to a living God saying, you see, nobody wants to help me. You see what's going on. And I heard an audible voice says, for my help, Are you willing to give this up? I said yes, and I died right there on this floor, right here. Right here. When I woke up after that, I felt him pick me up off of my feet, and something different happened to me. Right here is where I died. Right here. Let's keep listening.
Marriage. This false marriage is what I'm hearing, like this, the Six of Cups. Okay, this is family as well. You're returning. You're also returning to like this childlike energy, because you're always recuperating, regenerating, okay? Yeah, life can be difficult and there can be tension, but you don't sit in that, okay?
This
you're
one came first.
Evolving as a human. And I don't think that they really didn't think that you were protected like this. They didn't think that you would be able to alchemize this energy.
Because they didn't listen.
All right, they also didn't think that you had people and angels in the spirit that would throw
because they didn't listen to me.
They did not. I'm hearing they should have checked before they acted, all right? They should have found out.
But they were two-faced.
Coming out.
This is why they're at a loss.
They should have done their homework on who you are, and they didn't. You are so protected, okay? And you're being safe kept. The Lover's card is coming out as well. All right, so you are now attracting. You're attracting
2544
investigator. Your spirit team has been helping lead the way, okay?
Because
it's
it
almost
is.
as if there's little whispers in this investigator's ear. Look this way, look over here, okay? Because they're helping, all right? They want this to the King of Pentacles. They're trying to show this investigator who this inheritance belongs to. It's none of these like low vibrational beings. It's you. Okay, if this message is for you, this investigator, every single time he
walk through the door,
the rope or whatever, everything's leading back to you. All right, and that's why this marriage, it doesn't make sense. He's saying it doesn't make sense.
Because it doesn't.
He's seeing the strategy. He can see the plan now. It's becoming very aware to this investigator how they were trying to pull this off, okay? And the spotlight's being shown. This is divine justice. I can hear it, the chariot coming out. Okay, there is progress in the energy because of who you are. All right, your spirit team was not going to let this investigator sit on his heels. They also were not going to allow a low vibrational investigator to get his hands on this or her hands on this.
So they can.
This is a part of you being liberated. This is a part of you being separated from the group so they can see clearly. You are not in agreement with this. You have no idea that this was even taken from you. Okay, this has been going on for so long.
Years.
Queen of Cups. Yes, okay, because you have never changed your heart. Your heart was you never went cold. Okay, you still have such a love for life, all right? And by you sitting in...
Meaning, if I have such a love for life, and I do, I'm not saying that I'm sitting there skip to the loo, my darling. I always knew this, that my life would never, no matter where I was in life, I would never have the idea of ever wanting to take myself out. Ever would I take myself out, no matter how fucked up my life seems like it is. Let her continue. Like I said, she ain't got much more time. It's about like a minute and 5 seconds. And what? We had 18 minutes. And in 18 minutes, I showed you exactly what people do not want to say. This is why I said, I'm going to just post this stuff and you guys push play. And like I said, they're investigating this. Who? The FBI. Because what they did was federal crimes. Why? Because my name is on stuff and I'm sitting in this. And there was people who were paid to stay quiet, which means they touched that money. And when I tell people this, you took money to help somebody do this, the money is cursed. Well, what do you mean? I'll tell you again. That money was used to kill family members of the Francis and the Hicks and the Mitchell family for this money. So everybody who partook in this money is pretty much being labeled as a murderer.
This North Node is proving a point, okay? The Ace of Cups, all right? It's coming out in reverse. Who is this Ace of Cups for? the Page of Cups coming out in reverse. The 8 of Wands, okay? There's going to be communication. There's going to be communication on who is trying to fill their cup off of yours. All right, I feel like with this Ace of Cups in the reverse as well, it's almost like this, wow, this investigator is seeing you and they're understanding that you've never even been made aware of what this fortune is. Okay, there's a fortune. And the fact that you're still...
Well, how did they do that? It's because the mail was being rerouted from this very location. I haven't gotten any form of mail of any kind in quite some time, and the little bit of mail I got, what's this doing here? Like, usually I would get like weird junk mail, this over the years. There's no way that there should have been no mail coming from me of any kind at all. It's because somebody rerouted the mail, which means what? Somebody would have had to give somebody money in the post office to reroute my mail.
Moving in this Queen of Cup energy, you're still very compassionate and aware. Okay,
8141
understands that you have been led into some sort of
trap
awareness. Okay, I think that you know there is a false marriage.
That's the end of it. So, like I said, that was 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and I showed you real paperwork, real documentations with real stamps. And not only that, that's not the only thing I could show you. That's not the only thing I could show you. Here's another reason why we have the information to be like, I didn't agree to any of this. And there's people who agreed to try to be distractions in my life so that I could never figure out what this was. That's what it actually is, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all caught this. Hold on, give me a second. Now, I want you to keep your ears open because you're going to hear exactly what you hear. Now, remember, this is coming from, people who used to try to call me crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about, but here you can see actual physical evidence. Now I want you to listen to this because the one time I got a piece of mail a while back ago, I'm looking at this and this happens. Listen.
You went round, so I figured I'd just try this number.
Okay.
So anyway, what I was calling back for was that we actually didn't send a check. We deposited it electronically into a bank account.
Now here's this crazy thing, and this is going to blow your mind. I haven't had a bank account in over 10 years. I'm dead serious.
Alright, so the only thing I can do is actually find out what bank account they deposited into their way. What you're going to have to actually do is contact the bank concerning that. So let me send them a message and see what
This is crazy.
Bank account that they deposited into or onto.
So now, as you can see, this is a picture of SHYLA CULVER, whose name is also on the letter. So on top of that, this is what I said, there has to be more than one person involved in this. Because like I said, between me showing you guys this and you hearing this from my actual place that says, well, we didn't send you a check, we deposited it in an account. Well, what account? I haven't had an account for who knows how long, at least over a decade. So now you can hear that there's proof of a bank account with money in it, with my name on it, that I don't know about. And I'm in a fraudulent marriage that I don't know nothing about. Now you understand why the FBI is watching me. Why? Because they were going to try to blame it all on me. This is why I separated myself from everybody. Why? Because I knew this. Ain't nobody going to tell me the truth. The only person who told me the truth was the same person who picked me up off this floor when I died in this very room, was God. As far as I'm concerned, everybody is a dang on suspect. They don't want to tell the truth because shit's going to get cut out. I'm telling you, they've been doing this for years. Which means what? They got used to spending money that was supposed to have gone to me a long time ago, by also rerouting the mail, which is what? That's another federal charge. So that they can keep their pockets cool. And this is another reason why people been treating me as if I did something wrong. Or why I won't give up and just die like they did with Job, like Job's wife. Why don't you just curse God and die? Pretty much in this scenario, why don't you just curse God and die and let us steal from you? Why won't you let us rob you? Why won't you let us lie to you? Why won't you let us manipulate you? Because I don't want you to. And right here, these are federal paperworks with federal signatures, with federal stamps. The recording I showed you, what? It has to revolve around a bank. So where's the bank? This is why the FBI is watching me. Why? Because my name is on shit that I don't even fucking know about. And I'm not going to jail for 20 years for no SHYLA CULVER, for no Elizabeth Francis, or no June Paul, and anybody else who was helping them. Anybody else who was helping them. Anybody who touched that money in any way, shape, or form, you brought a curse upon your head because it belonged to me. Cheers.